We've already made our decisions. We're not going to wait till results come out to decide on our lineup. We had a plan basically from the Monterey to Charlotte, how we would utilize our depth and make a couple changes. So, we weren't running guys into the ground. And there's certain positions that we're just a little bit thin at. So we're taking all that into consideration, but we have a group that, we're hoping goes out in a really good way. And however the results play out tonight, will inform what our chances are. But we're trying to focus just on us and a good performance.
Speaking of that, is this a situation where, regardless of perhaps the outcome of strong performance, is important to keep momentum into the Supporter Shield?
Always,
Sunday.
Always. You want to be performing well and experiencing victory is always good for a team. And if new opportunities are out there, it's also good for guys that maybe haven't been getting the minutes to be a part of that and to feel that. So, we're, like I said, we're putting out a group that we want to go out in a very good way and position us as the game progresses to go and win a game. So that's kind of how we've approached it, but a good result going into whatever that means for us in the tournament going into the Charlotte game, I think is important.
You said you had a plan. I'm just wondering, in a tournament where goal differential, probably will matter, does that impact your, like, going into it? Did that impact kind of how that you put that plan together?
No, you're trying to win 3 games is what you're trying to do to advance. And, we were able to do that in the Monterey game. We unfortunately conceded a goal late, but for me, it's, can we win? And that simplifies what it looks like at the end. Of course, goal differential in this format is going to come into play. So, we can control obviously winning games and conceding goals and scoring goals, but, in the game against Juarez, we were able to come back from 2 down to at least position ourselves to get a point out of that game, and unfortunately not 2. So, we address it. From there, it's how does it play out? How do you perform to go win a game, and what does it look like for other teams as far as their goal differential? So it's certainly a factor, but in some ways you can control it, in some ways you can't.
With Chivas already being eliminated, what are you kind of expecting from them? And obviously they are a top club in Mexico. So
Right.
what have you seen?
They're very good. The results weren't there for them to advance in the competition, so that brings some uncertainty as to what we'll see. But whether they play a majority of the group that's played in the first 2 games or make rotations, they're very strong and a very good team with the ball. I think defensively, a team that is stepping up to the ball as well. I think there's a lot of similarities to the 2 games that we've just seen as far as very strong opponents. This has been a great group for us to be challenged with, playing 3 strong teams in Liga MX, and certainly historically they've been a top team. So we're going to expect their best regardless of who's on the field, and know that this will be a difficult game from the beginning.
Yeah, just obviously looking at last game, you mentioned the first half, slow start, not the way you wanted. What do you take away from that? And then building into this game, how are you looking to see more improvement?
Well, if you look at it in tournament play, a poor stretch can be the deciding factor on if you advance or not. And I think with the ball was where we underperformed. I think defensively, aside from the obvious of how we conceded the goal, I don't think defensively it was poor in the first 45. And then with the ball, we saw drastic improvements and let ourselves down on another crossing moment. So as far as the goals that we conceded, I think it was pretty clear where that could have been better. But that half could be the difference of if we advance or not. And moving forward, like I say, the game always gives you answers as to individual performances, the team, how we're progressing. And I think we're still in a very, good position. If we're able to have a strong performance and win a game tomorrow, we will have won 2 games and lost in a penalty shootout. So while it might be disappointing that you don't advance with 7 points, that's the reality of the format, and you have to accept that. So we knew it going in that it would be challenging, and hopefully from our first two performances, it guides how we step on the field and perform tomorrow with the expectation to win a game and hopefully advance.
Yeah, you say the game gives you answers. Obviously, in the first half of last game, there was
Mhm.
no Pavel on the field.
Mhm.
You bring on Pavel, some things start to change. Kind of how important was that, and how much do you factor that in, when moving into this final game?
Well, it signifies the importance of Pavel. I think that's clear to everybody. He's been excellent for our group, and when he's not on the field, that's evident at times. I don't want to put it solely on him not being on the field, because we always have confidence that guys can go in and perform and get the job done. But there's a reason we're talking about him the way we are, and because he's played at a high level all year and been our most consistent player in a lot of ways. So, um, it speaks to Pavel and, you know, how strong our group is when he's on the field.
In keeping with maybe that same or similar position, Brian Anunga has stepped in a big way over the last couple of weeks, especially since Obi went down injured, and you've rotated with him. He's been a valuable member of your team. What have you seen that's maybe been different from him over the last 8 weeks or 2 months, and how has he maybe improved his game over that time?
I think the relationship with him and Pavel continues to grow. I think with the ball, he's making improvements, and defensively, I think physically you can see his fitness and his the defensive side of the ball in transitions. You can see how much stronger he is now than maybe 2 months ago, where I think there were stretches late in games where physically he didn't look to be in the same spot that he's in now. Games help to get there, but he's been excellent as far as, especially you look at the Miami games, and when especially on the road, when things broke down and we needed guys to make plays in difficult moments, Brian's been there. He's been there to break up plays physically. I think those improvements have helped our group in moments where I think we could have been, exposed or in some trouble. But that's Brian cleaning it up. So I think those are the things that I've noticed, is the on the ball improvements and just physically the improvements that he's made.
It was announced that Corey Baird was traded to San Diego. I know he was a guy that, struggled to find minutes, but seemed to get along well with the guys and was, willing to move different positions.
Mhm.
What do you think what do you lose in his departure, I guess?
Well, first off, we wish Corey the best in San Diego. He was a really good part of our group. You said it, maybe the minutes weren't what he would have liked or what we expected, but he came in the right way every day. He was an excellent pro, a good teammate. He pushed the starting group, was ready for reserve minutes or, a start when he got it. I think what set him back was the injury, last year, and then being able to come back from that in a way that, just at that time made it difficult, I think, to get the starts in the minutes. And it was kind of an uphill battle from there. But like I said, he went about it the right way. And, you could see it out there today. His teammates, they appreciated him and they miss him. So they had a nice little farewell for him as part of the, our transfer game. But like I said, we wish him the best. He was a good piece of this team.
It's been a pretty active summer so far with what moves the club has made. I guess, are you pleased with how those additions are going to help you, and do you feel like you now are seeing kind of the depth that'll help you guys at the end of the season?
Very pleased. It's tough at this stage to always be able to strengthen your team, and we think with the additions, Ender coming in, I've already mentioned Kai previously, Ayub coming in. These are pieces that we think can help us down the stretch, and hopefully you get guys healthy with Kevin, with Sergio, Yuya, Obi. These are key pieces to our group, and that helped inform some of these moves. So credit to Chris and his group for being able to go out and get some pieces that we think help us in this stretch run.
And I saw Kevin and Yuya both out. Is
Yeah.
there any update on those two?
Same timeline, I would say, as a week or two ago with Kevin. He's in a good way. I think he'll be with the group post Charlotte is where we're at, and on what day to what capacity, not entirely positive, but he's trending really well to be back within the week. And then Yuya obviously just being out on the field is progress, and that timeline is still uncertain as to when we can anticipate him being available. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.